Hello children, let's come back to our maths class. Uh, Before we go to today's class, let us have a small recap of what we have seen in the previous class. In the previous class, I have told you that we are going to start with a new topic under lesson number 2. That is, we are going to start with a topic called as surd. What is the surd? Surd is an irrational root of a rational number. Just understand the definition properly, children. What is the definition for surd? Surd is an irrational root of a rational number. Irrational root of a rational number. That means if I take the number as 3. Now what type of number is 3? 3 is a rational number. What is the meaning of rational number? The number which can be expressed in the form of P upon Q is called a rational number. So 3 can be written as 3 upon 1. So 3 is a rational number. What is this? 3 is a rational number. Now what is the meaning of surd? Surd is an irrational root. That means if I take the root of this rational number, if I take the root of a rational number, I get the answer as 1.732 dot dot dot. It goes on, okay children, 1.73 dot dot. So I get a irrational number. So I say that root 3 is an surd. What is root 3? Root 3 is a surd. How you say root 3 is a surd? Because I have taken the number as rational number, and when I take the root for it, I get a irrational number. So surd is an irrational root of a rational number. Let me take one more example. I take the number 4. Now the 4 is a rational number. Agreed. Why is this a rational number? Because we can write 4 as 4 upon 1. That is, we can write in the form of P upon Q. A number which is written in the form of P upon Q, you call it as rational number. So the number 4 is a rational number. Let me take the root of 4. If I take the root of 4, what is the answer I get, children? Yes, I get the answer as 2. What is square root of 4? It's 2. 2 into 2, 4. What is square root of 4? It's 2. So here I get again a rational number. I don't get a irrational number. So I say that 4 is not a surd. What about this number? Root 4 is not a surd. But what about root 3? Root 3 is a surd because you get the irrational root as the answer. You get an irrational number for the answer. But here when you take root 4, you get a rational as the answer. Are you getting the difference, children? If you take 3, you don't get a rational number. You get an irrational number. And similarly, if you take 4, you get a rational number as the answer. So we say that root 4 is not a surd, but root 3 is a surd. What is the definition for surd? Surd is an irrational root of a rational number. Okay, children. So this was the thing that we have seen in the previous class, and I have told you to write down some of the points to remember. Yes, I have told you just have a self-study and you take down some of the points. And now I am going to explain you that points. No need to take down in the classwork. Already you have taken down that points, yes, children. So just understand the different types of surds. So what is the definition for surd, children? Surd is an irrational root of a rational number. Okay. Now, let's go to the different types of surds. Types of surds. The first one is pure and mixed surds. Now, what is the meaning of pure and mixed surds? Let us read the definition. You know where it is. Just come to page number 62. Let's take down the definition for it. A surd is called a pure surd if its coefficient in its simplest form is 1. What is the definition for pure surd? A surd is called a pure surd if its coefficient. So you have to see the coefficient. If the coefficient in the simplest form is 1. Okay, I'll just give you an example, because if you just go in the statement form, you will be not able to understand what is the pure surd. I'll give you an example. Okay, square root of 2. Okay, now just tell me, children, what is the number present here? No number. That means the coefficient is 1. So what is the coefficient to be considered? The coefficient is considered as 1. The coefficient is 1. Coefficient. C-O double is E-double-F-I-C-I. Coefficient is 1. That is, you have to consider the number before the surd. That's 1. Okay, I'll just give you one more example. 3 cube root of 5. What is the coefficient present, children? Now this is a surd. And what is the coefficient present? It's 3. Coefficient is 3. Okay, I'll give you some more examples. I'll take 4th root of 7. So what is the number present before the surd? No number. That means you have to take the coefficient as 1. Yes, good. So coefficient is 1. I'll give you one more example. Okay, let me take 10 fifth root of 10. 10 fifth root of 10. How to read this number, children? 10 into fifth root of 10. How to read this number? Fifth root of 10. So what is the coefficient? The coefficient is 10. You have a number present before the surd. Yes, that's 10. So coefficient is 10. Are you clear to identify the coefficient? So here no number was present, so we considered the coefficient as 1. Here before the surd you have 3. Here before the surd you don't have any coefficient, so it is taken as 1. Here before the surd you have a number 10, which is the coefficient. Now let's come to the definition part. What is a pure surd? A surd is called a pure surd if the coefficient in the simplest form is 1. So which numbers are pure surds? This is a pure surd. Why is this a pure surd? Because the coefficient is 1. Okay. What about this number? No, it's not a pure surd because the coefficient is 3. So this is not a pure surd. Okay. What about this surd, children? Yes, it is a pure surd. Why it is a pure surd? Because the coefficient is 1. Yes. So you call this number, that is the surd, 4th root of 7. How to read this? 4th root of 7. 4th root of 7 is a pure surd. Why it is a pure surd? Because the coefficient is 1. Do not consider this number, okay children? This is a root, okay? The 4 is called a root index. Do you remember that? So 4 is a root index. I am just going to see the number present before the surd. So no number. That means you have to take it as 1. Clear? So the coefficient is 1 here. So root 2 is a pure surd. The coefficient is 1 here. So 4th root of 7 is a pure surd. Now the coefficient is 10 here. So I will not call this surd as a pure surd. This is not a pure surd. Are you clear with the pure surd, children? Okay, good. So what is the definition for pure surd? A surd is called a pure surd if its coefficient in its simplest form is 1. Okay. Now, coming to the mixed surd. What is the meaning of mixed surd? A surd is called a mixed surd if the coefficient is other than 1. That means you should have a number other than 1. See here. What was the coefficient here? 3. It is not 1. Okay. So if the coefficient is not 1, if it is other than 1, you have to call it as mixed surds. Are you clear, children? So what was the first type of surd? Pure surd. What was the definition for pure surd? The coefficient in simplest form is 1. Yes. I got the answer 1. What is the coefficient here? It's 3. That is, the coefficient is other than 1. If the coefficient is other than 1, you have to call it as mixed surd. And this is a pure surd. This is a pure surd. Why it is called a pure surd? Because the coefficient is 1. What about this number, children? What about this surd? Yes, the coefficient is other than 1. What is the coefficient? The coefficient is 10. Since the coefficient is other than 1, you have to call as mixed surd. What type of surd is it? It is a mixed surd. Are you clear, children? Okay, let me give you some more examples and you people identify and tell me the type of surds. Okay, children? Okay, I'll give you some numbers. Cube root of 9. Okay. What type of surd is it? Is it a pure or a mixed? Check for the coefficient. What is the coefficient here? 1. Yes. So if the coefficient is 1, what type of surd it is? Pure surd. Very good. Pure surd. Coming to the next one. I'll just give you one more example. 4, 7th root of 10. 4, 7th root of 10. You should know how to read, okay children? For 3, you can read as cube root. If you have 2, you can read as square root. Oh yes, 7. So, 4, 7th root of 10. So here, what about the coefficient here? The coefficient is 4. So the coefficient is other than 1. If the coefficient is other than 1, you have to consider this surd as mixed surd. Are you clear with the difference between pure and mixed? Okay, so let us go for the definition once again. What is the definition for pure surd? A surd is called as a pure surd if the coefficient is 1 in simplest form. What is the definition for mixed surd? A surd is called a mixed surd if the coefficient is other than 1. Other than. Clear children? Okay. Now let's move to the next point. Already you have taken down these points. Yes, children, as homework. Okay, so no need to take down the definitions. We have already taken down the definitions. So now let's come to the next type of surds, that is simple and compound surds. Let's see what is simple and what is compound surds. So one we have seen for pure and mixed. Now let us see for simple and compound surds. Okay, let me talk about simple. Just have a number. Cube root of 13. Okay. So what is the meaning of simple surd? A surd with a single term. What is the meaning of simple surd? A surd with a single term. So how many terms are here? Only one term is there. So this is called as simple surd. Now just see here children. 5th root of 2 plus 10th root of 9. 5th root of 2 plus 10th root of 9. How to read this children? 5th root of 2. Read it along with me. 5th root of 2 plus 10th root of 9. How many terms do you have here? This is one term and this is one more term. So total number of terms we have 2. If you have more than one term, you have to call it as compound surd. What do you have to call it as? Compound surd. So what is the definition for simple surd? A surd with a single term is said to be a simple surd. And the algebraic sum of 2 or more surds is called a compound surd. Or you can just say in simple language, if you have more than one term, you call it as compound surd. So mostly how you write two terms, we write two terms using some operation. So you can use a plus sign or a minus sign when you write a compound surd. Okay, are you getting my point children? For a simple surd, only one term is present. What is the definition for simple surd? A surd which contains only one term, that is called a simple surd. Coming to compound surd, a surd which contains more than one term. Okay, more than one term. But mostly the two terms will be combined, or two terms will include some of the operations. Like you may have a addition sign or you may have a subtraction sign. See here, what is being used here? Addition is used. Or you may have cube root of 5 plus square root of 20. Because I'll put here minus and already have used plus, so I'll put here minus. So how to read this children? 3 is there. So how to read 3? Cube. Cube root of 5 minus. What is the number here? No number. If nothing is there means you have to consider as 2. Yes. So how to read this? Square root of 20. So how you read this? Cube root of 5 minus square root of 20. So here we have two terms along with some of the algebraic operations. So we call this as compound surds. Are you clear with this children? So are you clear with the simple surd and a compound surd? So what is this definition for simple surd? A surd which contains only one term. Yes. And what is a compound surd? A surd which involves more than one term. Okay. More than one term along with the algebraic operations. You may have a plus sign or a minus sign. Okay, coming to the last type of surd, that is binomial surd. Let's go for the next surd that they have given you. The third one is the binomial surd. Now let's see the definition for binomial surd. A binomial surd is an algebraic sum or difference of two terms, both of which could be surds, or one could be a rational number and the other a surd. What is the definition for binomial, children? Just see here carefully. A binomial surd is an algebraic sum or difference. You can take the sum or you can take the difference of two terms of both which could be surds, or one could be a rational and another a surd. That means a binomial surd means we involve two surds. I'll just give you an example, then you'll be able to understand it. So cube root of 5 plus fourth root of 9. So here you have a surd, you have a surd. So we are taking a algebraic operations of two surds, that it may be a sum or it may be a difference. That's not a matter. So cube root of 5 plus fourth root of 9. This is called a binomial surd. This is a combination of two surds along with a addition symbol. What is the algebraic operation used here? It is plus. Or you may have a rational number along with a surd. So this type of numbers are called as binomial surds. So how is binomial surd made? It is made of two terms. Okay, you have two terms or it can be more than two terms. Or binomial. Okay, so we have to talk about two. What is the meaning of bi? Bi means two. So binomial surd is an algebraic sum of two terms. So remember, you should have only two terms. And now this surd can be combination of two surds. It can be a combination of two surds. Combination of two surds, or combination of surd and rational number. So how is a binomial surd formed? The binomial surd is formed by, what is the meaning of bi? Bi means two. A binomial surd is a combination of two surds. You can have two surds together with a algebraic operation, that is you can use a plus sign or a minus sign, and also the binomial surd can be a combination of a rational number. Now this is a rational number, 1 upon 2 is a rational number, and along with the rational number you have a surd also. You have a surd. So this is called a binomial surd. Are you clear with the binomial surd, children? Clear? So what was the thing that we have seen? So we have seen under the type of surds, the first one was pure and mixed. For pure, the surd is said to be a pure surd if the coefficient is 1. Okay. What is a mixed surd? A surd is said to be a mixed surd if the coefficient is other than 1. It can be 2, 3, 4, any number, but it should not be 1. What is a simple surd? A surd is said to be simple if it contains only one term, if it has a single term. What is the meaning of compound? If the surd has more than one term along with the algebraic operation. It should have more than one term. I'll just give an example. Cube root of 5 plus cube root of 8. Along with the surd, it should have some algebraic operation. So what is the operation used here? Plus, or it may be minus also. So such type of surds are called as compound surds. In compound surds, you have more than one surd. Okay, children, more than one surd along with the algebraic operation. What is the meaning of binomial surd? In binomial surd, you will have two terms. Bi means two. So you will have two terms which will be a combination of two surds. You may have two surds together, or you may have a rational number and a surd. You may have a rational number and a surd. What is the meaning of surd? Surd is a irrational root of a rational number. That means I take a rational number, and when I take the root of it, I get a irrational number. So I start with a rational and the answer I get as irrational. So such numbers are called as surds. Start with rational and you get a irrational root. The root will be a irrational number. So you have to call it as surds. I hope you are clear with the different types of surds, children. And we have already taken down these points under points to remember. So let us continue with today's work. We have some more points to take down. And after taking down some of the points, we will continue with exercise 2.6. Okay, children? So get ready with your classwork. Get ready with your classwork. So take down your classwork. We are just going to continue with the points. Already we have written 4 points. So children, one I have given you as third. The second, third and fourth you have written as pure and mixed. This was the third one and this was the fourth one. So you have taken down this. Now give the heading as 4 basic operations on surds. You can just refer page 64 from your maths textbook. Refer page 64 of your maths textbook, children. Give the heading. This is just a continuation of points. Remember, don't put the heading. Already you have given the heading. Yes, children. This is a continuation. Just put here number 4 and give the heading as 4 basic operations on surds. So we have your 4 basic operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So let's see how to use the addition and how to use the subtraction and multiplication and division. So give the heading 4 basic operations on surds. Operations on surd. So you should know what is the definition for surd. What is a surd? A surd is an irrational root of a rational number. You take a rational number and you get an answer in irrational number. That is, if you take the root, you will get a irrational number. So 4 basic operations on surds. Take on the first one. Under that, write down addition and subtraction of surds. Addition and subtraction of surds. Addition and subtraction of surds. We're just going to write the rules. We're not going to do any writing work there. Wait a minute. Rule. What is the rule? Where b is greater than 0. Addition and subtraction of surds. A into nth root b plus minus. How to read this? You have to read this as plus minus. A into nth root b plus minus c into nth root b is equal to a plus minus c nth root b. So you have to take a plus c together and this will be common. Nth root b and nth root b will be common. I'll explain you the rules with the examples. If I give you some examples, it will be clear and you will be easily understanding the rules. A nth root b plus minus c nth root b is equal to a plus minus c nth root b, where b is greater than 0. Let us take some of the examples. Okay, write down here some of the examples. For example, I'll give you some simple numbers. 5 cube root of 9 plus 6 cube root of 9. I'm just going for addition. Okay, I'll take one example for addition. So if you have, for example, this is number 1. For example, I take 5 into cube root of 9 plus 6 into cube root of 9. So what will be the answer, children? Just see here, 5 cube root of 9 plus 6 cube root of 9. Now you have to just check one thing first. Just check whether this part is same. This is cube root 9 and this is also cube root 9. So if you have the same surd, then only you can add, okay? You have your cube root 9 and I have your cube root 9. So these numbers are same. If these numbers are same, then only you can go for the addition. Otherwise, addition is not possible. Okay, so I'll be writing down here. This is equal to. What is A, children? A is 5. So write down 5. What is C? C is 6. So you have to add the coefficients. What is the coefficient here? 5 is the coefficient. And what is the coefficient here? 6 is the coefficient. So 5 plus 6. Take the coefficient and write down the surd. What is the surd now? Cube root of 9. Cube root of 9. What is 5 plus 6? That's 11. Okay, 11 cube root of 9. This is the answer. Are you getting my point, children? So you have to take the coefficient. So 5 plus 6. 5 plus 6 cube root of 9. So what is the answer? 11 cube root of 9. I'll give you one more example. Do not take down this example. If you have 6 square root of 8 plus 7 square root of 10. Okay, I have 6 square root of 8 plus 7 square root of 10. Now this is square root of 8 and this is square root of 10. So can I add them? No, I cannot add them because this is root 8 and this is root 10. So they are different. So when the third part is different, you cannot add. Now here see, we had cube root 9, cube root 9. So they were same. If they are same, then only you can add or you can subtract. If the surds are different, we cannot add or we cannot subtract. So remember, this part cannot be added. Getting my point, children? So let me give you one more example for subtraction. Just put here number 2. Right. 13 square root of 5 plus already we have taken it, so I'll take minus 10 square root of 5. Then on the next example, 13 square root of 5. Here no number is mentioned, that means it is 2. So what is n here? N is 2. Nothing is mentioned. That means which number you are going to consider here? Yes, 2. So how to read this? 13 square root of 5. 13 square root of 5 minus 10 square root of 5. Okay, children? So now, what about the third part? This is root 5, yes. And this is also root 5. So they are same. So I am going to take the coefficient, sign and the coefficient. So what is the coefficient for the first third? 13. You can say this is equal to 13. Sign is minus. What is the coefficient here? 10. 13 minus 10 square root of 5. What is the answer? 3 square root of 5. Don't write 3 inside this square root. Okay, this is wrong. The 3 will come out. 3 square root of 5. Are you clear with the addition and subtraction, children? So what is the rule that you have to follow for addition? A nth root b plus minus c nth root b is equal to a plus minus c. You have to take the coefficient. So what is the coefficient? A, and you can take the plus sign also or you can take the minus sign also. Plus minus means you may have a sum with plus or you may have a sum with minus. A plus minus c nth root b. So I have just given an example for addition and I have given you an example for subtraction. And remember the thing, children, if you have the surds common, you can do the operation. Otherwise, you cannot do the operation. Just keep this in your mind. So take down the examples 1 and 2. Okay, children, have you taken down the first point under basic operations? Okay, now let us go for the second one. That is, now we are going to talk about the multiplication property of surds. So this was addition and subtraction of surds. Now let us go for multiplication and division of surds. Okay. Shall I rub this part? For addition and subtraction we dealt together. For multiplication we'll do separately, and for division we'll do separately. Today our second point is multiplication property of surds. Multiplication property of surds. So under multiplication you have two properties. Nth root of A into nth root of B is equal to nth root of AB. So what is the first property that you have to use? Nth root of A into nth root of B is equal to nth root of AB. And then you have A into nth root of B into C into nth root of D. A nth root of B into C nth root of D. This is equal to AC nth root of BD. AC nth root of BD. What are the two properties of surds? One is nth root of A into nth root of B is equal to nth root of AB. Then A nth root B into C nth root D is equal to AC nth root of BD. I'll give you an example. The properties will be clear with the examples. I'll just give you an example here, write down here. For example, number 1. I'll just give for this one, okay, first one. If you have, okay, 4th root of 9 into 4th root of 10. What is that? 4th root of 9 into 4th root of 10. Just see here, children. Very important thing that you have to notice. The roots are same. Okay, so what about this? The roots are same. What is the root here? It's n. What is the root here? It's n. So nth root A into nth root B. If you have the same root, you can multiply the radicand. What is this number? We have already seen in the previous classes. Eh, children? If you have a number root of 5. So this number here, nothing is mentioned. If nothing is mentioned means it should be taken as 2. So this is 5. So this will be called as a radicand. Clear? And this is a root index. So remember, you have to focus on the root part. What is the root here? N is the root. And what is the root here? N is the root. That means you should have the same root. If you have the same root, then only you can go for the multiplication. Otherwise, multiplication is not possible directly. I'm just saying, it is not possible directly. Just think, you can just change it and you can multiply. But by directly, you cannot multiply. So what is the number here? 4th root 9 into 4th root of 10. How to read this, children? 4th root of 9 into 4th root of 10. So what is n here? N is 4. What is n here? 4. Yes. So I have the same n. Okay, children. Let's consider an example. 4th root 9 into 4th root 10. So I have told you that you have to get the same root. So what is the root here? It's 4. What is the root here? 4. If you have the same root, you can multiply the surds. Let's go for the multiplication part, children. So what do you get here? Nth root of AB. So what is root here? 4. You get nth root. That means 4. A into B. What is A? 9. What is B? 10. So 9 into 10. So the answer is 4th root of 90. Getting the point? So remember, you should have the same root. If you have the same root, you can multiply. Otherwise, you cannot multiply. So 4th root of 9 into 4th root of 10 is equal to 4th root of 9 into 10. So 4th root of 90. Are you clear? Okay, now let's consider the second case. That is A into nth root B into C into nth root D is equal to AC nth root BD. A into nth root B into C into nth root D is equal to AC nth root BD. So let us take an example, children. Have you taken on this example? Get on the examples, children. Take on the examples. Okay, let's consider one more example over here. It's A into nth root B. So I'm just going to take another numbers. I'll take 3 fifth root of 8. Okay, I'll take 8 into 5 fifth root of 9. Just see here, children. This is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. A, B, C, D. What is N? N is 5 and N is 5. So I have told you that whenever you are going with the multiplication of a cert, remember the thing that you should have a same root. So what is the root here? It's 5. What is the root here? It's 5. So no problem. If you have the same root, you can go with the multiplication of cert. So let's see how to multiply. You have to multiply A and C first. That means you have to multiply the coefficients first. So what is the coefficient here? 3. Okay. What is the coefficient here? 5. Let us multiply the coefficients. So 3 into 5, 15. Good. So you get the answer is 15. How you get 15? Multiply the coefficients. 3 into 5. What is 3 into 5? 15. Okay, done. Now, just see. So I have finished this part. I have completed this part. Now, nth root of BD. So put the root sign and write the root. It's fifth root. Fifth root. B into D. So you are going to multiply the radicands. What is the radicand here? B is the radicand and D is the radicand. Multiply the radicand. So the radicand is 8. The radicand is 9. What is the radicand? 8 and 9. What is 8 into 9? 8 9s are 72. So the answer is 15. Fifth root of 72. So do not write down together. Just give some space. 15. Fifth root of 72. How to write this? 15 into fifth root of 72. Okay, so first of all, you have to multiply the coefficients. After multiplying the coefficients, you have to take the root symbol along with the root and multiply the radicand. So you write down multiply the radicand and you write down the answer. Remember, whenever you deal with the multiplication, you have to keep one thing in your mind, that is you are going to take a number. So you are going to take the surds of the same root. We cannot multiply the surds of different roots. Okay, children? Just take on the example. So this was for multiplication of surds. We have one more point to go. We have one more point to take down. Let's take on the last point, that is division property of surds. Shall I rub this, children? Have you taken on the properties? Be careful, write down neatly. Do not just congest your properties. Write down neatly. Okay. Now let's come to the last property, that is division property of surds. So it's division property of surds. Okay. Yeah. Division property of surds. Write down the rules for this. Under division, you have nth root of A upon nth root of B is equal to nth root of A upon B. Nth root of A upon nth root of B is equal to nth root of A upon B. Next one. A into nth root of B, C into nth root of D is equal to A upon C, nth root of B upon D. A upon C, nth root of B upon D. Write on the root. What's that? Nth root A upon nth root B. So you just can mention the condition over here, children. You can just mention the condition. B and D is greater than 0. This condition is applicable for both multiplication and division. So when you just do the multiplication of surds and when you do the division of surds, remember that B and D should be greater than 0. So this condition is also applicable to the multiplication property. I have just mentioned over here, just mention this condition near the rule, and this condition is also applicable to multiplication property of surds. The B and D is always greater than 0. You should have a number other than 0. It should be a positive number. So let's see the division property. What is the first property? The first property says that nth root of A upon nth root of B is equal to nth root of A upon B. Nth root of A upon nth root of B is equal to nth root of A upon B. Then A into nth root B upon C into nth root D is equal to A upon C. Okay, you have to take the coefficients first. So what is the coefficient here? A. What is the coefficient here? C. So A upon C. Then you have to take a common root. Now here we have different root. Here we have root for B separately. You have a root for D separately. You should take a common root for B upon D. That is a radicand. Take the common root for radicand. Shall we do the sums? Okay, let's do some of the sums. I'll give you some examples for division. For example, take the first one. Okay. Cube root of 5 upon cube root of 10. Let's do the sum. What is that? Cube root of 5 upon cube root of 10. This is division. So you are going to follow a division over here. What's the division given to you? Cube root of 5 upon cube root of 10. So what you are going to do? First of all, check the root. What is the root here? It's 3. What is the root here? It's 3. So you have the same root. If you have the same root, you can go for the division. Okay, children, mostly you have to get a same root when you do different operations. So cube root of 5 upon cube root of 10. So this will be written as common root. That means you have to take n as a common. I am just going to write down 3 as a common root. I just take as 1. Here we have separate root in the numerator part and we have separate in the denominator part. Now you are going to take it as a single one. So cube root of 5 upon 10. So what do you get here? Cube root of 5 upon cube root of 10 is equal to cube root of 5 upon 10. A upon B, that is the radicand is A, the radicand is B. So 5 upon 10. What is 5 upon 10, children? It's 1 upon 2. So 1s are 2s are. So what is the answer? Cube root of 1 upon 2. This is the answer. So I have just given you an example for the first rule. So if you have cube root of 5 upon cube root of 10, it will be taken as cube root of 5 upon 10, that is 1 upon 2. You can just simplify wherever it's possible. You can simplify, no problem. Let's take on one more example. Second one. 8 15th root of 9 upon 16, or I'll take, okay, 16 I'll take. 15th root of 18. (16) 15th root of 18. 8, how to read it? 8 15th root of 9 upon 16 15th root of 18. So this is A. 8 is A. This is B. This is C. This is D. So first of all, I am going to take the coefficient. I am going to divide the coefficient. What is the coefficient? 8 is the coefficient. What is the coefficient in the denominator part? 16. So write down the coefficients together. 8 upon 16. Okay. nth root. Take a common root. What is the root here? 15, 15. So you're going to take a common root. Root of 15. Okay. B upon D. You're going to divide the radicand. What is the radicand here? 9. What is the radicand here? 18. So I will write down here 9 upon 18. 8 upon 16. So you're going to take the coefficient part. You're going to divide the coefficient. 8 upon 16. You have a root 15 in the numerator part. You have root 15 in the denominator part. So you are going to take the common root. So you take it as root of 15. 9 upon 18. The radicand, that is 9 upon 18. So let's try to simplify if it's possible. 8 ones are 8 twos are 9 ones are 9 twos are. So what is left here? 1 upon 2 square root of 15. That is not square root here. Write on 15th root of. What is this? 15th root of 1 by 2. So what is the answer? 1 by 2. 15th root of 1 by 2. 1 by 2. This is 1 by 2. 15th root of 1 by 2. Clear, children? So if you have no number, it should be read as square root. If you have 3 in the root sign, in the root index, you have to read as cube root. Then other numbers, 4th root, 5th root, and so on. Are you clear with the rules, children? So we have seen, what we have seen today? We have seen the definition of surds. Yes. Then we have seen the different types of surds. What were the different surds? Pure and mixed surds, simple and compound surds, and binomial surds. And also we have seen the rules for addition of surds, subtraction of surds, multiplication of surds, and division of surds. Okay, children? So were you clear with the points? Good. Now, let's come to the exercise. So give the heading as exercise 2.6. Give the heading as exercise 2.6. I hope you people were clear with all the different points. Okay, so you are going to apply and you are going to do some of the sums from that. Okay, children? So give the heading as exercise 2.6. Now the first question. Simplify the following using addition and subtraction properties of surds. Now the first question. Simplify the following using addition and subtraction properties of surds. Now the first question. So I have taught you the different properties. Yes, children, we have studied all the 4 different operations. We have seen the different properties of different operations. So let's use that operations and let us find out the answer. So take on the first question. It's 5 root 3 plus 18 root 3 minus 2 root 3. What do you have? 5 root 3 plus 18 root 3 minus 2 root 3. So this is the addition. This is a combination of addition and subtraction. So we are going to use both the properties together. And we have studied a rule. I have told you that you have a BODMAS rule where the division and multiplication have the same weightage. You just keep division on one of the pan and keep multiplication of the one of the pan. They are going to weigh the same. They will be same weightage. What is the meaning of same weightage? Whoever comes first. If division comes first, you will do division. If multiplication comes first, you have to do multiplication. Are you getting my point? So division and multiplication are friends. Who are friends? Division and multiplication. If division is coming first, you have to do division. If multiplication comes first, you have to do multiplication. Same manner, now A and S. What is A and S? Addition and subtraction. So addition and subtraction are equally weighted. So if you just keep addition on one pan and if you keep subtraction on one of the pan, both are going to weigh the same. They are having the same weightage. That means they are friends. Addition and subtraction are friends and division and multiplication are friends. So if addition comes first, you are going to do addition first. And if subtraction comes first, you have to do subtraction first. According to the position, whoever comes first. If addition is coming first, do addition. If subtraction comes first, do it. So I have told you who are the friends over here. Division and multiplication are friends. And same way addition and subtraction are friends. So just keep this in your mind. Okay, children. So what do you have here first? We have two operations, addition and subtraction. So what are you going to perform first? Yes, addition is coming first. So we have to do addition first. And then we will go for the subtraction part. So take this 5, 18 and 2. So before I do the operation, let me take the numbers together. See here children, what is the coefficient here? 5 is the coefficient. What is the coefficient here? 18 along with the sign, okay? Plus 18. What is the coefficient here? Minus 2. Yes. And what is the third part here? It's root 3. Square root of 3. Yes. Put here square root of 3. Are you clear with this part children? 5. I have just taken the coefficient part. So 5 plus 18 minus 2 along with the sign. When you take the coefficient, focus on the sign also. Okay children? So 5 plus 18 minus 2. Common. What is common in all? This is square root of 3. So this is same. You see? Square root of 3 same. Square root of 3 same. Square root of 3 same. So I am just taking it as common. Square root of 3. Okay, let me perform the function. What is 5 plus 18? What is the answer for 5 plus 18 children? Just do the work. 23. Yes, 23. And then you have to subtract. So what is the answer you get when you subtract? 23 minus 2. What is 23 minus 2? 21. Good. So first of all you do for the addition. 5 plus 18, 23. 23 minus 2, 21. So the answer is 21 root 3. So what is the answer? 21 root 3. Are you clear children? Now I'll just give you some homework children. You're going to complete the second subpart. Homework. Exercise 2.6, question number 1, the second subpart, okay? The second subpart, what is the second subpart? 4 into cube root of 5 plus 2 into cube root of 5 minus 3 into cube root of 5. So cube root of 5 is common everywhere. So you can just perform the same manner. You collect all the coefficients and then you do the calculation part. Okay children? So only one sum is there for homework. That is not enough for you people. Yes children? You people need more sums. Yes? Yes, all needs more. Okay, children, just stay on some more examples. I'll just give you some homework questions. Okay, so you have to take down your homework book, homework page. Take down your homework page. Now, so only one sum from your book, okay? So whatever I am giving, it is an extra question. You people have to apply the rules that we have already learned in the points, and you are going to use the rules and you are going to find out the answer. Have you taken down your homework page, children? Yes. Write down today's date. Have you written today's date? Okay, good. Give the heading as homework. Write down there simplify. Give the heading simplify. I'm just going to give you a combination of all the 4 operations, okay? I'll just give you addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Just get ready with your homework page. Write down today's date. Give the heading as homework. Give the heading simplify. Have you taken down the heading? Okay, I'll just give you some sums. Take down the questions. 3, 4th root of 9 plus 11, 4th root of 9 minus 10, 4th root of 9. This is the first question. Get on the question. So this is the extra questions. You are just going to apply the rules and you are going to find out the answer. Take down. 3 into 4th root 9 plus 11 into 4th root 9 plus 10 into 4th root 9. Okay. Let us take down some more examples for your homework questions. So this was a combination of plus minus. I'll just give you some more sums. 23 8th root of 7 plus 59 8th root of 7 plus 103 8th root of 7. Get on the second question. 23 8th root of 7 plus 59 8th root of 7 plus 103 8th root of 7. So this is question number 2. Two more questions. Okay, children. So totally 5 questions for homework. Already 2 is given over here. 1 is there in your textbook. 2 more sums. Okay. Square root of 5 into square root of 3 into square root of 10. Your third question. Square root of 5 into square root of 3 into square root of 10. Okay, so I have just given you some on addition, subtraction and multiplication. Let me give you one more sum based on division. Square root of, okay, I'll just give you cube root here. 35 divided by cube root of 5. Cube root of 35 divided by cube root of 5. Okay, children, so totally I have given you 4 extra questions along with 1 question from your textbook. So you have totally 5 sums to do, okay? So you have to refer your points to remember. You have to just see the rules and apply the rule and you get your answers. Okay, children, I hope you will be able to solve the sums. Try out. Okay, children. So we will be continuing with the remaining sums in the next class.